guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be reviewing another Colourpop eyeshadow palette. I ordered this one at the same time as the Wine and Only palette because I didn't just want to order one thing from Colourpop from America. It feels a little bit wasteful. So I thought I would get the Boudoir Noir eyeshadow palette. Was this part of their Christmas collection? I don't actually know what their Christmas collection was thinking about it, but it is a kind of more wearable but more interesting than normal wearable palette. That's the only way I can find of describing it. So yeah, we're just going to be reviewing this in my usual format today. All the timestamps are listed down below, as well as the links to all of the products that I've used today. So let's jump in. So starting off with the details of the palette, this is of course the Boudoir Noir palette. The packaging is absolutely stunning. This one is cardboard with a raised gold design that is the kind of thing that's a nightmare to show you guys on camera because it catches the light like this and then you can't see anything. It does, as always, come in a cardboard box, and with this one we do have the ingredients on the back of the box but not on the palette. So if you do need to keep an eye on the ingredients, I would recommend just keeping this box. The front is just really simple. We have again this design with the name. We have no other information, and when we turn it around on the back, as always, we have a diagram, but they've made it kind of funky and kind of cute with all 12 of the eyeshadows that we are getting in this palette. It does say that this palette is cruelty free, and also one of the shadows is marked as not eye safe. It is the shade Bedtime Story, which is actually a pressed glitter. I know some people won't be happy about that. Some people don't like pressed glitters in an eyeshadow palette. Personally, I don't mind it, and this one is also very, very pretty, as you can see from this look, and as you will see in the swatches. We have the weight as well on here, which is 14.2 grams. That is the exact same weight as you get in the Sailor Moon palette, and that is roughly 1.18 grams per shadow. The cost of this palette is $18, which comes to £13.32. As always, do please bear in mind that the price on the Colourpop website does not include any taxes, whereas the price for the palettes that I purchase in the UK do always include VAT, so just keep that in mind when we're comparing the prices. This is the most affordable Colourpop palette that I own at 94p per gram. This is because it has some of the biggest pans out of their palettes that I own, and because it isn't a collaboration, it is at the standard price tag. I'm really confused that these palettes don't just all have the same weight per shadow. The pans all look like they're the same size. Someone please just explain why it's not just standard across all of them. We have 4 different textures in this palette. We have 6 mattes, 4 metallics, 1 glitter, and finally 1 matte sparkle. I finally know the name. It's actually on their website. They call it a matte sparkle. Not much else to say in terms of the details, so let's go ahead and swatch these shadows. So starting off with our first shade, which is a matte, we have the shade Deja Vu. Then we have our first metallic, which is Good Night. And then we have the shade Body Language. Then we have Melt, another matte, followed by another matte, which is Desire, and then we have the pressed glitter, which is called Bedtime Story. Trying to capture how reflective that is, but I'm kind of struggling in the lighting. Then we have our next metallic, which is called Sleep In. Gorgeous, gorgeous gold shade. Then our olive green, which is called Late Text. And then another matte, which is called Silk Sheets. And finally, our last 3 shades, we have Vibin, which is our matte sparkle. I don't really feel like you can see the sparkles in there all that much, not compared to that shade in the wine palette, which I really liked. Our last metallic, which is called Nap, and our last matte, which is more dark and olivey, which is called Hot Toddy. What is hot toddy? Can someone please tell me? Sometimes there's these American words that I don't understand. I don't actually know what that means. Let me know in the comments. I just think it's a really interesting colour scheme. It's something wearable, but something with a little bit of a twist, something a little bit different. And you guys know that I love my olive greens, khakis. Obviously got excited about them in the Enchanted palette and the Child palette. I know that a criticism that people have about Colourpop is that they release so much that some things kind of all end up looking the same, and I think that is sometimes the case, especially recently with some of the 9-pan palettes. They're literally going around in circles, but this to me has something that is a little bit different and a little bit more interesting. So now that those swatches are done, let's move straight on into the tutorial for this look. Alright guys, so I've just gone ahead and primed my P2E's base as always so that we can jump into the palette. You may notice there is a little bit of usage on the palette because I have just tried to film this look twice already, and for some reason it's not quite going well. I don't know why. I don't think it's the shadows. I think it is just me. I hope this attempt goes well. Well, let's find out, shall we? So the first shade I'm going to go into is going to be the shade Vibin down here on a Zoeva 231. It picks up really well but isn't particularly dusty in the palette, unlike some of the shades that I had in the Wine and Only palette. I'm going to make sure there's no creasing. I'm going to pop that on the outer corner. I'm just patting that in. I'm going to take a bit more and I'm going to bring it into my crease. And today I do want to try and tone things down a little bit just because they're more wearable colours. So I am actually going to be taking it into the crease, not above like I normally would. I'm just trying to get the colour nice and concentrated. I feel like it does have a little bit of patchiness, so I'm just going over and trying to blend. And as I get to the outer portion, I'm also just going to try and follow my brow a bit more. So at the front I'm in my crease, and then at the back I'm just going to follow my brow, but again I'm trying not to take it up too high. So I'm just closing my eye and I'm going to try and blend. See, I don't know why, but I'm doing a better job at keeping the colour more concentrated on the left eye than the right eye, which is just annoying me. I feel like for a brown, it is a little bit difficult to use, like to actually get it even. I don't know if it's struggling with the P. Louise base, maybe. I've never really had a problem with Colourpop shadows in the P. Louise base before, but who knows? Next up, I'm going to take a Morphe M433, and I think I'm going to go into the shade Desire. This one seems to be a little bit more powdery, and I'm going to use that kind of on top but also to blend. And again, I'm going to try and make sure I'm not taking it too high up. Pigmentation on this one is nice. So far most of what I seem to have done is covered up the brown actually, which wasn't intentional. Maybe I should have gone for a slightly smaller brush. I feel like it's having a bit of a struggle at the front of the eye and I don't know why. Yeah, this shade I like, but I just feel like I've covered up the brown. But again, I think that is just me. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with me today. I thought I was just gonna do like a really easy wearable look. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much quicker than what I normally do, but apparently not. Maybe a little bit more right here, just to try and raise it up a bit. Okay, there we go. I think the blend on this one is really nice actually. I do like this shade, and I don't feel like it's something that I really have in my collection right now. Okay, I definitely feel like the left eye went a little bit smoother, so I'm not too sure why that was. I just don't seem to have the patchiness that I have on this side. I think next I'm going to take the shade Deja Vu. I'm just taking a clean Morphe M433, just another one. Will say one thing that I quite like as well, you have different tones and they come in like a lighter shade and a medium. So you've got this one that I would consider a medium and then a dark. You've then got a light, a medium and a dark in the browns, and then a light and a medium in this one. So you can kind of interchange them. That's nicely thought out, I would say. This one's quite a bit dustier. And again, I'm just going to go in quite slowly with this one. And I'm going to blend. So again, I really don't want to go too high with this. It's quite pigmented for such a light shade, I would say. Just following the shape of my brow around. I feel like there's something that's blending out a bit weird about this. Maybe I'm piling the shades on top of each other a bit too much. Something about the colour that's just a bit iffy. Yeah, the blend is nice, but I'm unsure about those colours. I'm going to go back in with the Zoeva 231 into a bit of Vibin. Let me just try and deepen it up. And then I'm going to switch to a Morphe M456 to go back into Desire, just because it's a bit smaller and a bit more precise. Okay, so I maybe wouldn't recommend blending out the brown with that yellow. Maybe that's where I've gone wrong. Colours are just a bit funny, aren't they? I thought they would work, but I don't know. We'll see when I've finished up the look. It doesn't help that I've just got that horrible spot at the front of this eye that's just really annoying me. I'm going to take a Morphe M138, which is just a small pencil brush. Sorry, my brain stopped working there for a second. I'm going to take the shade Hot Toddy. I'm going to take it quite lightly. I'm going to go right in the outer corner. Okay, that shade's alright. And then back in with my Zoeva 231, I've just taken a drop more of Vibe in. Literally dipped in once like that. Let's see about blending. You know, I think I might be a little bit unsure about this colour scheme. I don't know, let me take some more of Desire as well. Trying to get a really nice dark outer corner. Okay, I think this might be taking shape now actually, but I really don't feel like it should be taking me this long. I'm just taking my Morphe M433 again, haven't added any extra product. Just trying to smooth that over. Actually, what I think I am going to do, I need to do something about that patch at the front of the eye because it's really bothering me. I'm going to take a cotton bud with a little bit of micellar water on it, I think. And then I'm just trying to blend back over with the other side to kind of hide the gap. I'm just going to take the brush I used for my P to E's base. Okay, there we go. I think that's okay. So let me just bring back in a little bit of Desire at the front. Okay. Yes, there we go. All of a sudden, I've gotten rid of that horrible little spot and I much prefer that than just a little bit of Deja Vu again. There we go, yeah, much better. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes these things happen. When they do, they're very annoying. So I don't want this to be a cut crease, but my eyelid is really messy right now, as you can see, because I had my eye open when I was putting the colours in my crease. It ends up depositing them on my eyelid. So I think this calls for a little bit more makeup remover, just to clean up the area a little bit. I don't want this to be sharp, so I'm just kind of quickly cleaning up the excess eyeshadow, and then I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of P to E's base, just enough to prime the area, but I'm going in with a fluffy brush. I'm not again attempting to do any sort of cut crease. So I think what I am going to do is lay down, no, what am I going to do? Which shade do I want to use? Oh god, there's so many pretty shades to choose from. Maybe this one, maybe Body Language. It's a bit different. I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go into Body Language. Ooh, that lays down really well. I thought I might need some glitter glue or to spray the brush. I will spray the brush on the other side just to see what it looks like. That is actually really nice. It's not like a really exciting metallic in terms of the texture. It's nothing exceptional, but the colour I really like. Again, I feel like this is a colour I just don't really have in my collection. So just on the other eye, I'm just going to spray the brush. Okay, I think it does actually make a difference this time. Okay, it's not much of a difference, but I think it is just enough that I'm going to go back over on this side. And then I'm just blending it into the crease, just with the edge of the brush. So not trying to get a super harsh line, just trying to diffuse it a little bit. And then I'm just taking another Zoeva 231, and this is probably the colour that I'm most excited about. This is Late Text. I'd definitely say this is one of their least powdery palettes. I'm going to pop that out here. Ooh, that's pretty pigmented. Did not expect it to be, especially not over Hot Toddy. Wow. Okay, I will say the lighter shades in these palettes do layer over the darker shades really well. I'm going to take the Zoeva 231 that I used earlier just to try and blend, although I've not added any extra product. Maybe just add a little bit more of Hot Toddy. And then a little bit more of Late Text. There we go. Then I think I'm just gonna run my M456 through the crease quickly, just to blend everything in. Okay, I do feel like it needs a little bit of brightening up, so I am gonna go in with some of Goodnight. I'm just gonna take another flat brush. Let's see if we layer these up. Oh, I thought it would do a bit more. Oh, this one's a bit powdery. It's not really done what I thought it would. It's just made the front a bit yellow. It's not actually brightened it. I'm gonna take a bit more of Body Language just to blend them in, I think. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and primed the lower lash line so that we can finish this off. I really want to use the shade Nap down here. So I think the first thing I might do is take Hot Toddy. I'm going to take another Morphe M456 and I'm going to pop that on the outer portion of the eye. Just start connecting this up. Looking a little bit messy, that's fine. And then I'm going to take the other M456 that I used for Desire and just try and finish blending it all in. You take a little bit of Desire right here. And then I'm going to take the M433 just to finish blending them out. Gonna add a little bit of Deja Vu just out here. And now I'm gonna jump into the shade Nap, just on a Morphe M124. Let's pack that on. Ooh, okay, this is a really interesting shade. I definitely feel like the shimmers add a lot to my collection that I didn't already have. Well, I mean, not even just the shimmers, actually. A lot of these shades I feel like I didn't have in my collection. Shall I just use the gold as well while we're at it? Yeah, I'm gonna take the shade Sleep In, pop it on. Ooh. That is a pretty gold. And then just a little bit more of Nap. Help me blend them in together. And then I think I might take a little bit of Goodnight again as well. Just in the tear duct. I mean, yeah, the shimmers in this are really interesting, like just different. I really like that. The last thing that I do want to use is the pressed glitter. I know it says it's not eye safe. I do think that when they write that, Colourpop are just kind of covering. I feel like it's we wouldn't recommend you put this on the eyes, but if you put this on your eyes, we've told you shouldn't. So I'm just gonna go in with Bedtime Story. I'm taking another Zoeva 231. I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner. Ooh, Milton's behind the door crying again, making me look like a horrible cat mum. That is such a pretty glitter. Wow, okay. And I haven't had to use any glue either. Look at that. Okay, the glitter might be my favourite shade. Again, I don't think I have anything like that one in my collection, so I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to do my waterline and then I'll go and do the rest of the look off camera. So I'm going to take my Revlon So Fierce Vinyl Eyeliner in, what is this, Mighty Mocha. Here is the blend before anything else is done. By the way, can we appreciate that I have managed to coordinate my outfit once again, and both of these items have come from eBay. Very pleased with myself. I don't know why I had so many issues blending the crease shades. Definitely went smoother on this eye, so I felt like it was technique rather than the eyeshadows. And as soon as I got rid of that horrible spot that I had at the front of this eye, all of a sudden it looked so much better. I feel like they look like they should be really easy colours to use. I mean, they're all pretty neutral, but for some reason I just struggled. I don't know why. I think I probably could have skipped Vibin altogether. I think blending out of Vibin with Desire, it kind of just looked like poo. Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend that. But let me go and finish the look off camera. I'm going to clean up the bottom a little bit, sharpen it up, and then I'll come back to give you my final thoughts on the palette. Alright guys, here is the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. I actually had to take a break during the makeup to go and take care of Milton. He was downstairs crying because he wanted attention. My brand new dress is of course covered in beige cat hair because he just gets hair everywhere, and I really didn't know if he'd let me come back upstairs to finish the video, but here I am. We can finish this off. So let's go over my thoughts on this palette. I think this is adding some really nice shades to my collection that I didn't necessarily have, particularly the shimmers. I feel like this one, Body Language for example, is very interesting, very different. Nap as well. And then even in terms of the matte shades, Desire feels like something that I didn't really have, and same with Latex. So they are adding something a bit different. Big highlight for me is Bedtime Story, the glitter. It's so pretty. I've been looking for a really interesting gold glitter for a while. Well, I was looking for one for Christmas when I thought I'd have time to do Christmas looks, but obviously that didn't happen. But it's super pretty. It's got that gold, but then it's also got those other shades. It's almost like the gold version of my Pixie crystalline liquid liner that I can't stop using at the moment. So really, really impressed with that side of things. I would almost class it as the cool tone sister to this palette, the Queen Bee by W7, which is a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Honey. I almost feel like this would be like my summer everyday work palette if I had a job to go to every day at the moment, and this would be the one that I would wear at the moment, the more wintry one. I think it is particularly this shade. Like, I look at my lid and it just makes it feel a bit more cool tone than this palette. With regards to the blending issues that I had at the beginning and the fact that I had to restart this 3 times, I don't think that's necessarily because of the quality of the eyeshadows, because I don't tend to have issues with Colourpop shadows, but I think it is the shades. Even though you look at this and you go, oh, this is more neutral, so this is going to be really, really easy to play with. Be careful when it comes to bird poop yellows like this one. It's the only way I can think of defining it. I don't know what else you'd call it. I guess it's a mustard. Let's go with mustard instead. That's a bit less gross. I think that, you know, blending more of a mustard with these shades, there's a fine line between it looking good and it looking really bad. And to be fair, I would say the same applies to the W7 one. When you are working with this colour family, I think it can easily go a little bit wrong. So I think while the quality isn't bad, you just have to be a bit careful with the colours. So it's just something to be aware of with this one, I would say. I'm also a little bit tired today. I really hope that hasn't come across on camera, but I do feel like a little bit tired, and possibly that didn't help with the blending. Overall though, I'm happy with the look that came out. I do think this is an interesting palette. I think if you are looking for an everyday wearable palette, but you want it to be a bit more interesting than just browns, then I think you may be the audience for this palette. It's got the olivey greens, it's got the mustard, it's got some more interesting shimmers. So if you're just looking for something that's a little bit more than a brown palette, potentially this could be a good option for you. As always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then do make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out my next video. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.